5,000 of the world's allegedly most intelligent, probably the richest, and in Thorold Barker's case, best looking people face of the earth here in Davos. We've all been talking to people for 18, 20 hours a day, Thorold. So what's the most interesting thing you learned so far?
Amongst all the comments about the global economy and all of this and politics and everything else, for me, the most interesting thing was actually a conversation with a technology CEO of a small company called Lookout Mobile Security, which basically protects against viruses and the like on mobile phones, particularly in apps. And for me, the interest of that is that we all focus on the security of our computers, and we always have, but we now have all of this data that we use all of the time on our mobile phones, the most personal data, and we download apps almost in the belief that Apple has somehow vetted them or something, and actually they're just as open to abuse as anything else. And I think for me it was a real eye-opener just in terms of that whole new wave of potential cyber problems that we could have on our mobile devices and how we need to be pretty aware of that.
Well, probably only a matter of time until it happens. I'm sure it already has. For me, Thorold, I'd say one of the most interesting things was watching Marissa Mayer in her first public comments as Yahoo CEO talk about her vision for the new Yahoo. It was interesting because she was less geared towards transactions, which seemed to be where she was headed, and more geared towards content and personalization of news and other information on Yahoo. Overall, to be honest, I wasn't overwhelmed by it. I felt like we've been hearing the same critique or the same strategy from all sorts of technology, particularly content companies, for the last 10 years. Now, of course,
so no particular thing she mentioned that made you think, that's new.
No, there are different ways, of course, to get at the problem, and the technology certainly is advancing. But at least in terms of the first public viewing, from my perspective, just one perspective, I'd say Yahoo still got a ways to go. So 2 tech stories here from Davos. And anything else that you thought was intriguing?
Well, no, just that people are pretty optimistic. And when there's a clear consensus like this of optimism, particularly about the US, you've always got to wonder what's lurking around the corner that people aren't thinking about.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you my sense.
Yeah.
And that's inflation.
Right.
We have the world's largest central banks printing at full bore, right? Draghi saying we'll do what it takes. Japan doing whatever it takes, Bernanke doing whatever it takes. How at some point, 2-3 years from now, are we not going to be suffering the effects of that? Now, the argument against that is, well, we haven't yet. But the lurking fear I have, Thorold, is that's going to come home to roost. I don't know if you feel the same way or not.
And I think we had an equity bubble, we then had a housing bubble, and it seems pretty clear we've got a bond bubble going on right now. Right. And the question is, when and how will that unwind? And could be many years, it could be sooner, and I think the timing of that will be interesting.
All right. Well, now that we've started shivering, I think that's our cue.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.